Well, all great things must come to an end. And apparently all mediocre things as well, because we are here to talk about Season 2 of The Bad Batch. We started out kind of like doing it episode by episode.
Yeah.
And then we sort of determined life's too short.
Life was too short, and that the episodes were too short.
Well, we just didn't care. We're like, you know what? Maybe this, I think we did like the first 4 or 5 episodes, and we're kind of like, hey, you know what? Let's sit on this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And yeah, I think as a whole, I think this would have been the better way to do it from the beginning. Because I think from the beginning, I was kind of like, this feels weird.
Sure. You knew all along. You knew from the get.
No, I thought like, as this, you know, as a podcast episode, it would have been better to do like a short animated series as a single episode.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
I didn't know that the show itself would be so upsy downsy.
Hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
Da B team.
My name's Brady.
My name is Carl.
And we're 2 lifelong Star Wars fans who
hell yeah
are just watching content as the content drops and talking about it, and this is no different.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with some hot takes. Are you ready for this?
Hit me.
I don't think that Mandalorian Season 2 is a good season.
Okay.
I think that it is better than Season 1.
Okay.
And I think that it is better than the first 6 episodes of Season 3 of Mandalorian. But I still don't think it's a great season. So that's you know.
Are you talking about Bad Batch or are you talking about The Mandalorian? I'm confused.
Mandalorian.
Start over.
Or Bad Batch. Did I say Mandalorian?
You said
Bad
Mandalorian. So you said Mandalorian Season 2 was better.
Okay.
Season 1. And then I was like, okay, I thought we were talking about Bad Batch.
Yeah, okay, so
we're
Bad
talking
Batch.
about Mandalorian.
Listen, so I'll start over because it changes it changes everything. Bad Batch Season 2. It's not a great season. I think it's better than Season 1 of The Bad Batch.
Okay.
I think it's better than the first 6 episodes of Season 3 of Mandalorian. But I don't think it's a great season.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my hot take.
All right.
Is that it sucks, but it doesn't suck as bad as the first 6 episodes of Mandalorian Season 3.
Okay.
I don't like the season from where we left off. The season does some things to get me caring about these characters a little bit more. We get a little bit more of the sort of that like behind the scenes of the Empire stuff, which is the stuff that I really care about. The stuff that I find fascinating.
Yeah.
But overall, I just don't care. Overall, this is a who gives a shit spinoff to what was a great series in Clone Wars. Clone Wars had its ups and downs. Sometimes it was better than others, but overall it was good. And I'm just not, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird that there's like, that Star Wars right now is focused so heavily, like their biggest focus on everything is cloning. Everything's about cloning.
Yeah.
But it's not even like this, it'd be one thing, and I think I would find it fun and fascinating if this were all happening in the same time period of the Star Wars universe, because then it would feel like, okay, we're all building up to this one thing. We're all building up to the thing that we all believe to be the cloning and resurrection of Palpatine. But I really don't think that that's what the cloning in Bad Batch is about, because this is set like way too early in the timeline for that. Right? We're only just a little bit after Order 66. Palpatine's got no demise in sight. He's at the top of his game. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. Are we getting a season 3 of this show? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Bad Batch. Give me some of your thoughts while I look this up.
Well, yeah. So, I'm going to bounce off your idea of like the cloning thing. So, I don't know. You've never mentioned that you do this. I'm assuming you do a little bit. But I've mentioned before how I love kind of watching YouTube videos of kind of breakdowns of the videos. These are the cool Easter eggs you may have missed. This is what the Arabesh, or Arabesh for those that don't know, is the funky words and lettering it's essentially the Star Wars language written out. What the Arabesh you see on the signs in the background or say and stuff. I love that. Here, watching breakdowns of that. I watched an interesting one recently that kind of had this really cool theory about connecting them a bit. That the episode we got,
connecting episode of the Mandalorian and Bad Batch, you mean?
Yeah, the last episode of the Bad Batch lined up with the Coruscant episode of Mando season 3. And somebody made this one episode show I watched made the theory that Omega is the spy on Coruscant. It's a stretch. It's a stretch, but it's an interesting how like they had some other things in there to kind of like support their theory. Nothing was super strong. I don't think it's right, but I think, yeah, you're right in that like everything is pointing towards cloning right now to kind of try and explain away the bad writing of the Disney trilogy of the Emperor coming back.
Mm-hmm. Which I still liked, by the way. I'm on team. I'm glad that it was still about the Emperor, but
so I think
I get that not a lot of people feel that way.
I don't have an issue with the Emperor coming back. I think the way they did it was BS.
Okay, with the cloning.
Well, no, not the cloning per se. Just kind of like an out of nowhere. So we have a villain for the third act.
Right, and
you
explain away the villain
is all
from
of a
the
sudden
first
explained
two.
in the opening scroll that he's back. What?
Yeah.
What?
And explain away the villain from the first two by saying that he was Palpatine's puppet.
I thought that was all like, yeah. And we've talked about how, I mean, I've mentioned before how I think the writing and the storytelling between the three, that it was super messy, and nobody paid attention to what anybody was doing, and this was just more of that with the way they did it. It was just like, well, I had plans for Snoke and he killed Snoke, so now I need somebody, so Palpatine's back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it was just yeah. I don't have an issue with it, because in Legends canon, he did come back as a clone. In fact, he had like a whole cloning factory on one of the moons of Coruscant with bodies ready for him to force project his spirit into, the way he kind of did here.
Right.
Or the way we got. So I don't have an issue with it. I just, like it wasn't thought out is my problem. Anyway, I think...
By the way, Palpatine's return was not my first choice, but I was happy with it.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that, this is kind of one of those kind of foundation stones they're trying to lay for this whole cloning explanation of Palpatine coming back.
Right.
And the stones that are being laid, like this is like base ground level stone, and the Mando stuff is kind of being laid on top of this in terms of explaining how things happened.
Right.
So whether that crazy theory is right or not, I think isn't the issue here. Is not important. Rather, I think it's that the Bad Batch is simply kind of laying the framework for the Empire was very interested in cloning, just not for the purposes of the clones army.
Right.
They wanted something else, and it was the Emperor who is pushing for something else. So I don't think the Bad Batch is ever going to get into what that is, because that's what the Mandalorian is doing.
Right.
I did feel like as I was watching this season, I kept remembering one of the things you said in our first episodes was that one of the things you wanted was kind of an explanation about the clones being phased out and stormtroopers being phased in. And I thought we got a lot of that in this season.
We did. I was very happy. I was something that they did not disappoint on. And I'm happy with the explanation. Like, it makes sense. It made sense. It wasn't like, oh, this is a stretch. I was like, no, okay, yep. I'm all for this. But I don't know. Every time we see Tarkin show up, I'm happy, I'm glad. Every time we see, and that's not just me needing like, oh, show me the legacy characters. Like it's not so much what it is. It's you have an extremely interesting time in Star Wars history, right? Like a really fascinating time where lots of crazy stuff is going on, and stuff's just nuts. So don't just take a show and don't look at this timeline and go, oh, this is a really fascinating time in Star Wars canon. So let's just take a show and plop it in that happens to take place in this timeline, which I feel like a lot of the time that's what the Bad Batch is. Sometimes it's smart and it gives us this, like, this is a really fascinating time. Let's unpack this. Let's answer some of the questions that you might have about this time and about how we got from the prequels to the original trilogy, essentially. Right? How did we get from where we were in this lush, beautiful, everything's fantastic, right? Because like up until this point, our explanation has simply been, within canon, well, it's the Empire. And the Empire's oppressive and they suck, and so things kind of got sucky. And it's like, okay, well, yes, but give me some details, right? Just simply saying, well, the Empire and it sucks and, blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit of a cop-out, right? I want that further explanation. I want to understand how we got from where we were with there being clone troopers and them looking this way to there being stormtroopers and them looking that way. And, all of these different things. And that's something that in a lot of ways, actually Clone Wars did really well in explaining, okay, how do we get from episode 2 to episode 3?
Yeah.
Right. Or giving these little, like, ooh, look, this is Republic officer, general, whatever you want to call him, Moff Tarkin. And you're like, oh, what? He was a good guy. Like, sort of. He was he was always going to be a problematic good guy, but he was technically on the other side. And so, like, I needed more of that than what I got, and more of that than I think that I'm ever going to be able to get in a show that's called The Bad Batch, because essentially what I'm fascinated in is not The Bad Batch. It's not Troop 99 or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially when they've already left the Empire. You can't tell stories about the Empire when the focus is on a group that's on the other side of that fence.
Yeah. Having said that, if Star Wars came out tomorrow and they said, hey, we're going to do a show called Dawn of the Empire, I'd be ecstatic.
Just stormtroopers.
Just stormtroopers and just like in generals and like what's happening with this and what's happening with that. And like, you know, like I think that would be far more interesting to me. Just a show called Tarkin. Yeah. I mean, I really want a show called Plagueis, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. I don't know. Overall, and I feel like I'm in this rut where I'm getting multiple sources of Star Wars television right now, which I told you, if I just simply said like, hey, you know, if I went back in time to 10-year-old me and I said, you know, in 2023, there's going to be 2 Star Wars shows happening on TV at the same time with more on the way.
What?
My mind, I would, yeah. Young me would be like, that's amazing. But then I would feel
like, whoa, hang on.
I'd feel the need to say, well, hang on a second.
They're not going to be great.
Yeah. It's problematic galore, my friend. And so, yeah, I'm
at
just
which point younger you would slap older you and say, shut up, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, be grateful. And I'm like,
if you've seen what I've seen.
Yeah. There's going to be a series specifically around Obi-Wan. What? No, calm down. Calm down. It's problematic. So, I don't know. You know, and don't even get me into, you know, there's a Boba Fett show. Look, kid, I got to go before I can't stand to see you cry. I got to leave. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a super, super disappointing season for me. Super disappointing show all the way around. It's not even the same. It's not even in the same realm as Clone Wars was.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think the first season was better. You had said this season was better than the first. I think the first season was better than this one.
Okay, how so?
I think the story was more succinct. I feel like there was less, like, I don't know. I just feel like the story flowed better as a whole. We were off, like they still did go off on adventures that didn't matter because, you know, they were working for what's her name still, trying to keep a low profile from the Empire. But I feel like the story just felt cleaner, like the overall story. Like we didn't get any. Crosshairs had an interesting story arc to kind of turning on the Empire, but ultimately, like it was what 2 episodes. He had 2 episodes. Kind of 3 episodes, and there was some payoff there, I guess, because you know he realized the Empire didn't care about him and he turned on the Empire, but now he's trapped. Okay,
Yeah.
And then I was really hoping that these characters who are kind of locked into their namesakes, like Tech is always the smart one and Wrecker is always the brute, and you know, I was hoping we'd see some character growth.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, outside of Hunter and Echo's not even really. I mean, he's an addition to the team. He's not a founding member. I thought Hunter had a bit of growth. Echo had the most growth, but he's not even really. He's yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think. I got the growth in the characters I wanted. I mean, Tech kind of continued to have some growth, I guess. Like making that sacrifice play in the end. I don't know. I think I was most disappointed in that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we'd sort of talked about at the beginning of our reviews that they are extremely generic, or not generic, but they're like cliche character types.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just they were like, okay, what are all of the cliche character types that we could possibly have? And they just went down the list and like...
Yeah, for like cartoon characters from action cartoons. Yeah, and I think they had they definitely had lots of opportunity to kind of show these characters break that archetype potentially, and it just never happened.
Right.
Like, I don't know. That I think was the most disappointing for me. I think the overall story, it was definitely like weaker than them running from the Empire and then eventually trying to, go back to Kamito to save Echo and all that stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So much missed potential.
Yeah. It really was kind of overall a disappointing season, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah, I think now that I'm kind of putting some even more thought into it, the reason season 1 I think was better is because we ended up with more conflict between Crosshairs and Clone Force 99.
Right.
Like even if they're on some job for what's her name, but the antagonist for the episode was Crosshair. Crosshair's already there for some reason because it's an Empire controlled planet, right? So it just seemed like just missed opportunities and weaker storytelling. But when the good stories did happen in this season, they were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the episode, we stopped at the episode where they were on that kind of Indiana Jones hunt, right? Yeah. I think that was the last one.
Yeah, the Indiana Jones episode.
The very next one, they were on Kashyyyk. And that one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought. The next one was, I think, one of, if not the best episode of the show. Because it was the one on Coruscant. They were like hesitant to go. There's a lot of tension there because it's the heart of the Empire.
Yeah.
And then the whole show is kind of wrapped up by them essentially falling into Palpatine's trap and Palpatine showing up in person in the show saying, "We can't trust clones anymore. Let's phase them out." It's like, oh my gosh, they fell into his trap. Holy
and I'm a
crap.
Palpatine sucker, so anytime we get Palpatine showing up in anything, I'm like,
it was like he's barely on screen, but like just the way they set it up and paid it off. Oh man, it was good.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
I did enjoy, for the most part, any of the times. I like all the stuff revolving around Kamino. And then like sort of the destruction of Kamino, and like to me that was just fascinating because that was stuff that felt like it mattered. Right? That was like, well, where is Kamino by the time the original trilogy comes? Well, it's not there. Right? And so like that was like is stuff that was not necessarily loose ends, but stuff that was making sense of things for us, which I think is the real potential of a show like this, and a potential that they just don't tap into nearly often enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, all that was, I think pretty much all of that was in that same episode with Palpatine, wasn't it?
Yes.
Because that was his reason for wanting to phase out the clones, because the clones did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, and it almost hurts more when there's a great episode. Because then it's kind of like, see what you can do if you try? Like, oh, it's aggravating beyond all get out. It's just truly aggravating. truly aggravating. And I try not to think this, but I kind of want to sit across from Filoni and just say, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you've proven yourself before. We know you can do this.
Yeah. The last episode was kind of interesting too. Like, it sets up the crew in a really weird position. Like, obviously setting up another season.
Yeah, which, by the way, I looked up, and 2024, we are getting season 3.
So like, now Crosshairs and Echo are both caught and in trouble. We find out that Echo and Force 99 have another sister, apparently, who's older.
Apparently.
Like, what's with that? Maybe it's not Echo who's that person in Mandalorian. Maybe it's that
maybe it's the other one. Yeah.
But man, just it's an interesting place to leave the series, kind of that cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they don't even know where they are. So I feel like the majority of this next season is going to be them trying to find out what planet they're even needing to go to.
Which, by the way, don't even get me started. If we run into a scenario where there are questions in The Mandalorian that we want answers to, but they don't end up giving us answers because they said, well, we covered that in season 3 of Bad Batch, I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah.
Like, everything. You want to know things about the scientist? You want to know things about this? I can see why you would want to know that. We covered all that. You know, we deal with all that 30 years prior in Bad Batch. And you're like,
it's kind of, we talked about we talked about it a minute ago on the news episode. So if you haven't listened to that, listen to the news episode. But yeah, we got into that about, it's essentially Star Wars is falling into the same trap that Marvel has found itself in.
Yeah.
This kind of messy, if you haven't watched it all, then you're missing out.
Which I can see how, if you're the one calling the shots and you're the one doing that, I can see how your approach or your thought could be like, isn't this style of storytelling clever? Like, look at us. Like, we're intertwining and interconnecting, and it's so clever the way we're doing this. And
it is.
Sure, but it also doesn't make it very consumable. Like, in the same way that...
For the mass audience.
For the mass audience.
Like, for you and me, it is very fun to consume. It's very easy for us to go, yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah, I'll
creates
watch
fun
that.
Theories. And,
I'll read. Oh, you're gonna get into that in that book? Yeah, okay, I'll read that. I'll read that comic book too, because you're getting into that. But yeah, it definitely when it becomes
that's where I draw the line.
All necessity, then it's like, yeah.
That's where I draw the line. If in order to understand what's happening in the Star Wars movies, if I have to start reading novels, then I've checked out at that point.
Yeah.
It's too much. Too much. All right, sir. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank season 2 of not the Mandalorian, good Lord, of the Bad Batch? See, I don't even, my brain doesn't even want to acknowledge that it's a thing.
Oh man. Yeah, you've been struggling with that this whole time. I don't know, man. It's hard because the episodes that were good were really good. I guess a 6. I give it a 6. Yeah. What about you?
I give it a 5. You know.
Yeah. Middle of the line too, eh?
Yeah, take it or leave it. You know? Yeah, I can watch it and throw it on. It's kind of fun if I've only got like 20 minutes and I need to see something.
Fold some clothes and watch Star Wars.
Yeah. But in terms of, is it delivering something to me that I really want? It fails, right? It's not like I can't get excited about it. I can't recommend The Bad Batch to anyone. But I'm also not going to tell anyone to not watch it. So I kind of default to a 5 there. I'm sort of middle of the road, on the fence.
If you want more Star Wars, you can't get enough of it, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. But also at that point, if you want more Star Wars and you don't care whether or not it's canon, I could make a lot of better recommendations for you. Yeah. Well, that's our thoughts. Those are our thoughts on season 2 of The Bad Batch. Let us know what you thought. Are we totally missing the mark here? Are we crapping all over an amazing show? If that is genuinely your opinion, I would love to know why. Because maybe there's something we're not seeing, right? Maybe there's like a really awesome wicked factor that we're just not smart enough to. I don't know. But I'd be curious.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to know, those who do love The Bad Batch, what is it that you see in it that we're not seeing? Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed down below. Our Patreon, for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show and also get some wicked awesome perks in return. And a merch page. It's another great way to support the show and also get some sick swag. Do people still say swag? Can you say swag?
I don't see why you can't.
Yeah, swag. Although is swag free?
Swag.
Is swag the stuff that you get for free? Is swag just free merch?
No, I don't think so. I think swag is whatever you want it to be.
All right. Well, I'm going to go swag some swag.
Swing some swag?
No, just swag some swag. Because swag can be whatever I want it to be.
Swag.
I swagged so much last night.